Dun, 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 dun. Welcome everybody to Sacriligious Silliness with Lauren Mayer. Ta-da! Hi y'all! How's everybody doing? I know it's a little bit of a new look for me, but I did put the wig on in the picture in the promo for this, so I thought I'd try a show all kind of country. Let's see who we got here. Gary's here and John's here. I feel like this dancing in romper room, and David and Jacqueline. And Jacqueline, oh, I'm glad. Howdy. Yeah, howdy, y'all. So I'm going to do any song of mine that I can think of that kind of fits this wig, including a few I have never done in a live stream. So, but this one was from not that many weeks ago. This is for all of y'all who are getting vaccinated or who have been vaccinated. I get my second shot this week. Super excited. I'll tell you a story about that in a second, but in the meantime, here's a song about something on that subject. Come on. Here y'all go. An end to the pandemic might be within our sights, thanks to infectious disease specialists and epidemiologists working day and nights. But if folks don't trust the science, it'll be hard to regroup it. Oh, it's too bad there ain't no vaccine for stupid. Oh, now you can get a flu shot, and there's even one for shingles. There's shots for ailments for which they've got commercials and even jingles. But deluded anti-vaxxers spout crap that's truly lupid. Yeah, it's too bad there ain't no vaccine for stupid. Ain't no vaccine for stupid other than education, which might help stem this viral tide of wild misinformation. But thanks to social media, that crap's on an endless loop. It floods every screen, so there ain't no vaccine for stupid. Basic public health measures wouldn't seem too much to ask, but that's before some nut jobs politicized wearing a mask. If we all followed the guidelines, we'd feel the pandemic strainless. But unfortunately, there ain't no vaccine for brainless. Ain't no vaccine for brainless, nor for this rampant infection. About lies about COVID, QAnon, or fraud in the election. Pushing back against those alternative facts leaves thinking people pooped. As we've seen, we need a vaccine, but there ain't one for stupid. I don't mean to be mean, but there ain't no vaccine for stupid. So it's back to quarantine, there ain't no vaccine for stupid. Thank y'all. So, vaccines. Have y'all gotten yours? Anybody? Let's see. We got a few more. Ella, tell me if I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you for all the lovely hearts. This is fun. So here's my vaccine story. So my husband Scott, who I'm hoping will be able to pop in, waiting to see if he has time today, but I think he will. So we might get to see him later. I don't know if he knows I'm doing this in the wig, so he may have a little surprise. Anyway, he's a in the 1A tier because he's a healthcare worker. He's a substance abuse counselor at a rehab facility. So he got his first shot, and of course, a lot of people are having pretty, uncomfortable side effects for a day or so after their second shot. So his work told him he could take, basically, we understand if you need to take the day off the day after your second shot. And he was really tired. He'd been working some late hours and doing a couple of extra shifts. So I was saying, take the day off. You're entitled to it. I have a weird piece of hair sticking up here. Anyway, you're entitled to it, and I think you should take the day off. And like a lot of men folks, he doesn't like to take sick days. And I was really encouraging him, and he was being very kind of stubborn. And I finally said, I almost sort of secretly hope you do have a side effect, so you have to take the day off. Well, whoo boy, his started 12 hours almost to the minute from when he got his shot. And he works like an afternoon to evening shift. So he's like, it's like 11:30 at night. He's putting the water in the automatic coffee maker so that it's ready for the next morning. And his hands start shaking so much, he's spilling water all over the counter. And he had a fever and flu-like symptoms, so he felt really awful for a day. And I felt really awful for several days because I feel like I jinxed him. But it'll be my turn Thursday, so we'll see how crappy I feel on Friday. So I'm going to try to get my weekly song out a little early. So that just in case I feel lousy, and I might feel fine. So let's see. Everybody said they got vaccinated. Aaron said, did I miss anything? No. Oh, yes, you need the one. Most countries need the one for stupid, that's for sure. Let's see. David's fully vaccinated. Yay. Yay. Good, 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 good. I'm so glad so many of you are, and we all will be, and I'm excited. So I'm going to do some stuff that works with this wig. But I'm going to start with a song I just put out on Friday, and that's for all the companies that love to do things in honor of Pride and Women's History Month, or Women's, whatever, and especially for racial justice and Black Lives Matter. But when there's actual legislation or discriminatory actions to take a stance about, they just want to stick with the tweets that, all lives, are valuable and Black Lives Matter, but when it comes to voter suppression, they won't take a stand. Now, fortunately, that has changed, and after I put this song together, but before I put the video out, Delta and Coca-Cola and I think another company in Georgia all said, nope, this isn't okay, and Major League Baseball pulled the All-Star game. So this isn't for them. This is for the other companies who have not caught up yet. So here we go. So this may be the first time you see Latin-influenced music performed in a country wig. So we'll see what you think. All the really big companies love to show their support of what's right. But it turns out when push comes to shove, they back down from a fight. But if you don't disown it, you own it. If you don't disavow it, that means you'd allow it. If you don't salute it, you better refute it, instead of doing the complicit cha-cha. When it comes to the latest cause, you complain, you sure give a hoot. But when states pass oppressive laws, why are you suddenly mute? If you don't approve it, work to remove it. If you don't respect it, then publicly reject it. If you don't endorse it, speak up, or of course it means you're doing the complicit cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha. Ads with LGBTQ rainbows, or tweets that Black Lives Matter. If it's not all a vain pose, then spare us that useless chatter. Statements aren't enough when the going gets tough. Aye, we've heard enough. It's not okay to say you care for all of the downtrodden masses. If you won't step up when things aren't fair, you can shove those platitudes up your asses. If you don't decry it, you're standing by it. If you wouldn't have picked it, you must contradict it. If you don't discredit what ought to be shredded, then you're doing the complicit cha-cha-cha. If you don't disown it, you own it. If you don't disavow it, that means you'd allow it. If you don't salute it, then publicly refute it, instead of doing complicit cha-cha-cha. So I hope the song has taught ya, when issues are so fraught, ya should know that we will watch ya, and we won't miss it if you do the complicit cha-cha. Thank you, thank you. Ooh, forgot. I don't always lip sync my videos, but I did that one because it's really hard to dance the cha-cha and sing. So let's see. I'm going to read some comments. Yeah, I'm glad it was only a day. Jacqueline, I'm sorry you had 5 days. Ooh. I'm glad you're double vaxxed. So yes, Scott might be joining us. So Scott's gone back to school. He's doing it online, and all of the main week's homework is due on Sunday night. So just a question how much he gets done. I'm hoping he will join us. I'm not going to take all requests because it's got to, other than that song, it's got to kind of fit this wig. But if you have topics or things you would like to see, let me know. I'm going to do a few non-political things, but I will start with something that's more, let's see, what did I find? I'm going to pull, hold on, where did this go? All right, this is the first song I did with this wig on. And it came from, I knew I wanted to do something about reproductive rights being under assault. And this was like 6 or 7 years ago. Still relevant today, especially with the Supreme Court the way it is right now. All these Roe v. Wade cases coming up, so the song is still relevant. Anyway, I knew I wanted to do something, and I didn't know what to do, and the issue kind of makes me angry, so I was having a hard time finding anything funny about it. And then, hold on a sec, being my own engineer, there we go. Okay. And I saw this expression that will become the tagline of this song on a poster that was at a protest march, and it just tickled me so much. And I had this wig from back in the days when I used to do corporate comedy with my old performing partner Karen Drucker, who is definitely worth checking out, karendrucker.com. She's fabulous. Anyway, she bequeathed me this wig after we started both doing our own solo stuff. So I just thought this wig and this title kind of work. So here we go. These days women's rights are well established, or so we presume. Still work to do, but things are looking nifty. But lately right-wing politicians seem to be consumed with making us go back to 1950. Oh, they'd rob us of our choices, birth control restrictions pour on. It's time to raise our voices so we can tell each moron, your war on women is infuriating. You only value us if we're just dating. So tell all those misogynists from Maine to North Carolina, I didn't come from your rib, you came from my vagina. Now apparently God tells some politicians that they ought to deny science, women's rights, and evolution. But it's not a Christian country, just in case you schmoes forgot, and the Bible does not trump the Constitution. So don't put us through contortions to get that rare exception. And if you want fewer abortions, don't block access to contraception. Hello, your war on women's real and res my motor. Keep up this crap, you'll lose each female voter. So quit claiming to respect us while you shame and blame and tutor us. I didn't come from your rib, but you came from my uterus. Now to cut off women's health care, red state governments have raced as if to TV preachers they've apprenticed. But Planned Parenthood clinics you shut down cannot all be replaced with optometrists, a food bank, or a dentist. And don't push abstinence only, those programs are all failing. Didn't really work out so great for Bristol Palin, just saying. Your platform's packed with vehement misogyny, treating us like we're just vehicles for progeny. Of women's rights, the GOP would be an underminer. I didn't come from your rib, you came from my vagina. And we're sick of your misogynist one-liners. We didn't come from your ribs, you came from our vaginas. Everybody! I didn't come from your ribs, you came from our vagina. Yeehaw! Thank you all, thank y'all, thank you all. Vaccine, vaccine, vaccine. Oh yeah, Dolly Parton actually did that. So I would not presume to do it, but vaccine, vaccine, vaccine. She does a line about, I'm really happy I got it so I don't die. Somehow she can get away with that. I love Dolly Parton. So I'm going to do something non-political. Let me pull this up. Hold on. Where did it go? Okay. So, well, first of all, let me just check the comments. Let me grab a sip of water here, too. This is tiring doing all this talking. And unfortunately, I can sort of chat with you based on the comments, but I can't hear y'all talking. So, this is all tiring. And there's something about the weight of this wig on my head or something. I don't know. But anyway, I hope y'all are doing okay and having a good time celebrating whatever it is you're doing today. If you celebrated Easter, happy Easter. If you celebrate Passover, today's the last day. It's actually the day we did our Seder. So here's the thing about my kind of cuckoo family. I grew up with a mixed family because my mom, you would not know to this day, she's a convert. She didn't even know Jews existed till she got to college. That's how naive she was. And then she tried to rush the Jewish sorority because those were all the girls she thought were the coolest. They told her she couldn't rush it because she wasn't Jewish. And she said, "What's that?" She really didn't know. But then she joined another sorority and got booted out of that when she started dating my dad because they weren't allowed to date Jewish boys. So that's how long ago that was. Anyway, she converted, actually after my bat mitzvah. But you wouldn't know it today. My mom sounds like she's so Jewish. Anyway, but we did our Passovers kind of when it was convenient. We didn't always do it on the first night. Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Yes, this is a wig. I didn't get a new hairdo that quickly. I don't necessarily think I want to be a blonde full time. Anyway, so when I married husband 2.0, that's Scott, for those of you familiar with him from the live streams, we started doing our Seders on Easter Sunday because usually the first night of Passover fell sometime in that week before Easter because that's why Easter changes dates every year. In case you didn't all know that, it changes every day. It's because the Last Supper was a Seder. So Easter has to be the Sunday that's closest to when Passover is. And Passover is based on the Jewish calendar, which is a lunar calendar, which is so off being normal that every 13 years there's a leap month. So let's just say it's all messed up. So anyway, usually that first night of Passover is Tuesday or Wednesday when he would have rehearsals for all the Holy Week stuff he sings because Scott's a Catholic cantor because I'm also in a mixed marriage, even though we keep a Jewish home. So we would always have our Seder on Easter Sunday. So that's what we did today because he was busy during the week getting ready for Holy Week. And we didn't do one last year because the lockdown had just started. We were all just kind of in shock. But I've done them for a while. But there was one year where my older son had left for college. My younger son was still home. And I didn't think it mattered to Ben. Ben informed me after his bar mitzvah that that was it. He was done with religion, with synagogue, with everything. He was an atheist, which he corrected me today to say actually what he meant was he's agnostic. So anyway, he was 13. What did he know? So, so that first year that David was away at college and couldn't come back for Passover because he was back east, I wasn't going to do one. And Ben said, "Mom, you have to do a Seder." I said, "But Ben, you don't believe in organized religion." And he said, "I know, but I believe in gefilte fish." So we had to, and if any of you, have you ever tried gefilte fish? It's disgusting. Generally, even the good stuff is just blood. It's chopped up, cooked, processed white fish. So anything that tastes good in fish is cooked out of it, and it's like this crumbly, mealy mush that is only improved by putting a lot of horseradish on it. So if you don't like horseradish, you're out of luck. Anyway, but that's a very long-winded story. Yes, I just did that. Oh, Jacqueline, yes. So anyway, long-winded story to get around the fact that I do have kids, and I've done a couple of albums about my life as a mom, and Gevalte Fish, oh, that's great. So I'm going to do a couple of my songs that I did about my kids from back when they were little, and this one is based completely and totally on personal experience. And I hope some of you who have dealt with youngins might be able to relate to this one. crumpled handout from the bottom of the backpack. You help with homework without interfering. Permission slips due later are stuck on your refrigerator. You do more than your share of volunteering. So when a bad week at work arises with crisis after crisis, you're all set at home, so you thought. But when your in-laws are coming and, ooh, what's with the plumbing? That's when your kid says, oh, Mom, look what I forgot. There's always a diorama. There's always the project you're gonna hate. A last-minute book report, a Lego model of a fort, or a flour and salt relief map of the state, complete with major landmarks. No matter how well you've done things, this is one thing you know will be true. When your life's a panorama of chaos, stress, and drama, that's the week the diorama is due. You know it's important to help your kids gain independence, even if they don't have 40 trophies on their shelves. You sneer with indignation at that glitzy PowerPoint presentation those brats clearly didn't do all by themselves. So you struggle to show them how to get that fabric paint flowing, and you grit your teeth and say, hey, isn't this fun? But eventually you think, screw it, I might as well just do it, 'cause at least then the darn thing is done. There's always a diorama. There's always the project you're gonna hate. A last-minute book report, a sugar cube model of a fort, or a flour and salt relief map of the state, complete with major cities and large landmarks. No matter how well you've done things, this is one thing you know will be true. When your life's a panorama of chaos, stress, and drama, that's the week the diorama is due. Oh, I always was lousy at arts and crafts. I never got good with a glue gun. And I think it's absurd to use scrapbook as a verb. So don't insist they're fun, and I should do one. No thanks. Besides, there's always a diorama. There's always a project you're gonna hate. A last-minute book report, a popsicle stick model of a fort, or a flour and salt relief map of the state with interstate highways, rivers, cities, and major landmarks. No matter how well you've done things, this is one thing you know will be true. When your life's a panorama of chaos, stress, and drama, that's the week the diorama is due. All right, I brought in store-bought cupcakes for the bake sale. The week the diorama is due, and I didn't make them take baths last night. Not on the week the diorama is due. I hate craft stores. The week the diorama is due. Yeehaw. Thank you. I have not done that song in quite some time. Adam Sandler fans. Let's see. Lunar Moth Months. Oh, yes. Hey, Ken, you're here. Oh, good. Bobby, hi. Gary Dushko, hi, y'all. Yeah, Adam. So, speaking of Adam Sandler fans, while I'm on the subject of religion, since today's the last day of Passover, I got a little song about religion for all y'all. Thank you, Marcy, for the applause. So you may wonder what our holidays are all about. I mean, Adam Sandler did that great, Hanukkah in Santa Monica, the Hanukkah song he did, and there's a Tom Lehrer Hanukkah in Santa Monica. But I did a whole album of Hanukkah songs called Latkes Shmakas, and while it's not Hanukkah, right now one of the songs on it is a more all-purpose holiday song. And speaking of which, it's time for a little commercial message. If you would like that album, Latkes Shmakas, you can go to my shop, which is in the notes of the store of this event, and there's digital downloads and physical CDs of that, of my Psycho Supermom albums, and of my political albums. They're all there. And hold on a second. Sorry, for some reason, this country stuff makes me thirsty. Anyway, all that stuff is there. If you want to get some music to have in your home and to support the arts, you can also do Venmo and PayPal tips. And I will be doing probably another Zoom concert with Scott, probably over the summer, and so there'll be tickets available. It's just laurenmayershop.com. And we really appreciate it. Either of us in the arts know that this has been challenging 13 months now. And it'll be a while before we can go back to completely full venues and live shows the way we used to. And of course, singing is one of the last things that gets to come back. So any support you have for the arts is really lovely. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And so I'm done with the commercial. Now here's a little PSA, I guess I can call it, about understanding religion and religious diversity. Sometimes it can be difficult to be a Jew. Our holidays confuse folks. Heck, they confuse me too. But now I've heard 9 little words that explain each holiday nice and neat. They tried to kill us. We survived. Let's eat.
They tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat.
We've got a lot of holidays, both big and small, and not even a rabbi can define them all. So when in doubt, you just set out chopped liver and a little something sweet and say, they tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat. Oh, we survived, and even thrive. Maybe that's why Jews have so much drive. So when in doubt, you just sit out, chop liver, and a little something sweet and say, they tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat. Everybody! They tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat. Here's Rosh Hashanah, Hanukkah, Pesach, Shavuot, Simchat Torah, Purim, Tu B'Shvat, and Sukkot. Lag B'Omer, Tisha B'Av. That list is not complete. Oh well, they tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat. Now, Tu B'Shvat's about trees, and Simchat Torah is about Torah. Passover is Pesach. New Year's is Rosh Hashanah. On Purim, we eat hamantash to commemorate Queen Esther and how brave she was because she saved us from Haman, who tried to, etc. He tried to kill us. Oh, we survived, and that's no jive. Now it's time for all your cousins to arrive. On each occasion, simply say to every boy you meet, happy they tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat. Oh, we survived, we're still alive. Come give your cousin Mordecai high five. Boy, each holiday is always such a treat. They tried to kill us, we survived, let's see. Everybody! They tried to kill us, we survived, let's see. They tried to kill us, oh, we survived it all. So come on, celebrate and eat. You look hungry. Have a little matzah kugel. Thank you, thank you. I've got to read. I saw a bunch of comments come in. Let me just stop this track and look at my comments. So let's see what people say. Yes, Seders are not, they're not Torah. So, oh, that's true. Jesus never heard of one. So that's completely, the whole story is all made up with the Last Supper. You're absolutely right, Colleen. Glad you like the wig, Ken. Let's see what else people are saying. All right, I'm going to do a couple more. I don't know where Scott is. Let's hope he comes down soon. I'm going to actually, I love this. Mid-show, I'm going to send him a quick text and say, where are you, honey? Here, I'll pull this out. You know, I like pink. What can I say? But I can also text him on my computer. So I can do this. Where is he? Your fans want you. And maybe think about what you'd like to hear him sing. I don't know. Maybe he may just be too swamped with school, and that's okay too. So, dirty little secret, I try to have a tracker on my phone because I have not bought an Apple Watch or a Fitbit. So I was curious to see how many steps I get in a show. So anyway, all right, let me get a couple more songs. Oh, I have one more parenting song that I think some of you might be able to relate to. Where did it go? Because this does kind of go with this. It goes with the wig. And then I will go back to politics. But let's do one more about just progeny and where'd it go? Here we go. It's three-part Kazoo Harmony, by the way. Told the kids that we were going out, and they said, wait, why can't we come too? That just sounds fun. I said, we're going out to dinner like a real romantic date. That won't be quite the same with you along. Hey kids, it ain't all about you. Grown-ups get to have fun too. Oh yes, it's true. It might be news to you. Grown-ups get to want to need to have fun too. Met up with my girlfriends at the movies without the guys so we could laugh and catch up, let down our hair. These teenagers in line behind us sneered or rolled their eyes. I looked at them and said, like, duh, as if we cared. Totally. Hey, girls, it ain't all about you. Grown-ups get to have fun, too. Oh, yes, it's true. It might be news to you. Grown-ups get to want to need to have fun, too. All week long, I'm schlepping constantly. Work, clean, cook, shop, get everyone where they need to be. I want my kids to blossom, but what about me? I deserve a turn occasionally. Yes, sirree. If I'm out with my kids and I should see a park with swings, I kind of want to jump on and have a try. My kids might sigh and roll their eyes and say, oh, Mom, that's embarrassing. But I don't care. I think I deserve to fly. Go ahead, pretend I'm not related to you. Grown-ups get to have fun, too. Oh, yes, it's true. It might be news to you. Grown-ups get to want to need to have fun, too. All week long, I'm schlepping constantly. Work, clean, cook, shop, drive, get everyone where they need to be. Yeah, my kids need to blossom, but what about me? I deserve a turn occasionally. Yes, sir. Yeah. So when I'm with my kids and I should see that park with swings, I'm gonna jump right on and have a try. My kids will sigh and roll their eyes and say, Mom, you're so embarrassing. But I don't care, we all deserve to fly. Go ahead, pretend I'm not related to you. Grown-ups get to have fun too. Oh yes, it's true, it might be news to you. Grown-ups get to want to need to have fun too. Oh yes, it's true, it might be news to you. Grown-ups get to want to need to have fun too. Oh yes, it's true, it might be news to you. Grown-ups get to want to need to. Yes, we get to want to need to. Grown-ups get to want to need to have a real good time too. Got my kazoo. Let's see. Do I remember my life? Yes, as Colleen mentions in the chat, Purim is a holiday that apparently, according to the Talmud, which is the commentary about the holidays, you're supposed to get so drunk you can't recognize your own rabbi. So that's pretty cool. Oh, Jacqueline, I'm sorry you're in Diorama land. Yes, those were the days. And the first one that I had to do was literally the day before it was due. Oh, Mom, I forgot. We have to go buy all this stuff. And the book that he wanted to do his diorama, it was a diorama book report. And the book he wanted to do was The Blob That Ate My Town. That was fun. So I'm going to pull a couple more political songs. I don't know what happened to Scott. I am assuming he's gotten swamped with school. So let's assume he won't be here. And then if he gets here, it'll be fabulous. I haven't, oh yeah, I got to do that one. I'm going to end with something political, but let's see if there's anything. Probably have time for like 3 more songs. Oh, thanks, Marcy. I'm glad. Let's see if there's anything else I haven't done in a while that's kind of country. All right, this is a very Jewish song, even though it's semi-political. Jews have gone through some stuff, and over the course of history, and there's definitely this sort of attitude of like, yeah, we sort of look for, the disasters waiting to happen. Although one of my absolute favorite Jewish jokes, and I can tell them, and they're all cliches, and cliches have some basis in reality and some that are just made up. But my favorite is someone says, why does a Jew always answer a question with a question? And the answer is, and why shouldn't a Jew answer a question with a question? Jewish mothers tend to only look for what their kids aren't doing. The classic is the Jewish mother gives her son 2 ties for his birthday. He goes and puts one on, and the mother's response is, so you didn't like the other one? My mother and her sister-in-law had the same kind of thing with my Jewish grandmother. Her 2 oldest sons both married girls named Judo. There's Scott! Oh my gosh. So anyway, she told my mom, Judy, that the problem with her kids was that she worked. She told Aunt Judy the problem with her kids is that she was home all the time and didn't work. Scott made it. Oh my gosh, looks like he made it. So come.
Love, your hair.
Yeah, I got a new hairdo, honey. What do you think?
Oh, love. You're incredibly sexy, whatever you do with your hair.
So you know what you want to sing?
No, what do you want to sing?
Y'all, anybody have any requests for Scott?
It's going to take time for them to show up.
It will take a little time to show up. It'll take me time to get over the keyboard. So here, let's do this. You want to push that chair over for me? I didn't think you all were coming.
I'm just coming.
You have to say goodbye. So my sons are, anyway, he's not the bio dad. He's the stepdad. But for whatever reason, how do I spell what? How do I spell that?
How do you spell?
I don't know what it is you want to spell. Latka. Latkes. Latkes. Schmakas. Shmakas. Anyway, for some reason we don't, because there's 2 boys and the younger one who lives in the area. We call him Junior. So did Junior get off okay with lots of leftovers?
Yeah.
We did our Seder right before the show. So anyway, anybody have any questions for? Nobody has any
It
requests.
takes a few minutes.
Okay. Well, what do you feel like?
What do you feel like?
I'm wide open. There's something about this wig that just makes me want to play.
Somebody says hi.
Gary says hi. Gary, is there anything you'd like
Hey,
to hear me
Gary.
sing? Y'all want? Do you want to croon? Do you want to be silly? Do you want to?
Just do Beyond the Sea.
Sure.
I don't know what key. I have it in my book here. You want me to look?
Is that too high?
Somewhere. Little higher. Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sand and watches the ships that go sailing. You look hot. Somewhere beyond the sea, she's there watching for me. If I could fly like far beyond the stars. It's near beyond the moon. I know beyond a doubt my heart will lead me there soon. We'll meet beyond the shore. We'll kiss just as before. Happy we'll be beyond the sea, and never again I'll go sailing. We'll end it. No more sailing. Bye-bye sailing. Oh, bye-bye sailing.
We need a finger snapping emoji. Oh, that guy. Yeah, Bridget,
yeah.
I'm sorry the wig is killing. It's killing me. Actually, it's really hot. Woohoo! But I'll have wig hair underneath
You
it.
are
I'm too
hot.
vain to take it off.
Good.
You want to do anything?
How you doing? You're almost here.
Yeah, my voice is starting to fade a little bit. I did really well.
Oh, you want another one?
Yeah. You want to do something with
What do
me?
you feel like?
What key do you do Brown Eyed Girl in?
I can look.
Okay, Scott's going to look in his book. I don't know why. I love it when he sings Brown Eyed Girl, even though I have hazel eyes, but I like to think he's singing to me. Let's see what other comments we have. And then I'm going to do probably two more. I'm going to do my Jewish, hey, it could be worse. And then, because Texas is now trying, what key?
G.
Okay, so I don't know if you're all, it's not Van Halen. Who did this song?
It's a Van.
Van, not Van
Van
Johnson, Van
Morrison.
Morrison. Oh, the Jewish song I was talking about, I haven't done yet, Colleen. It's not technically Jewish, but well, Scott's going to do one more about brown-eyed girls, which a lot of Jewish girls are. So I guess I could be sort of Jewish. And then I'll do my "Oh, it could be worse" song. Is this right?
Hey, where did we go? Days where the rains came down in the hollow, playing a new game, laughing and a running, is that the right words? Slipping and a jumping, all along the waterfall with, ooh, hearts a thumping and you, brown-eyed girl. You, my brown-eyed girl.
Is that right?
And whatever happened to Tuesday, it's so slow. Going down the old mine with a transistor radio. Standing in the sunlight, laugh, hide behind a rainbow's wall. Slipping and a sliding, repeating lyrics, all along the waterfall with you, brown-eyed girl. Ooh, you my brown-eyed girl. Do you remember where? You ready, everybody? We used to sing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-da. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-da, oh, la-ti-da. So whatever happened, never be the word.
There's something about it, but something behind the something with you.
Yeah. We'll keep happening.
Da, 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 there's something in there behind the stadium. Piano solo.
Take a nice solo. It's coming. So hard to find my way now that I'm all on my own. I saw you just the other day. Ooh, my, how you have grown.
It's just the hair.
Cast my memory back there, Lord. Sometimes I'm overcome thinking about it. making love in the green, green grass behind the stadium with you. Brown-eyed girl, ooh, you my brown-eyed girl. All right, sing with us, everybody. Do you remember when we used to sing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-di-da? Oh, sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-di-da. We used to sing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-di-da. Oh, oh, sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-di-da. Oh, la-di-da.
Yay, Scott! That's my sweetie. That's my sweetie. Okay. Bye, Scott. All right, so I'm going to finish up, y'all. Start with I kind of alluded to this being sort of a Jewish song just because we like to look sometimes on the dark side. I wrote this one right after the election when I was feeling pretty discouraged and like, boy, things are kind of crazy. But then I would read these columns by various historians saying, oh no, this is nothing compared to McCarthyism in terms of the political stuff, or the pandemic was not as bad as the 1918 flu, or the bubonic plague, or whatever. So, oh yeah, so Colleen is giving the traditional gefilte fish. It actually can be very, very good. You're right. And actually, we got the good stuff from a nice high-end Drager's is a local high-end market. It was actually pretty good, but commercial generic gefilte fish is not. Anyway, so this is, there is sort of this Jewish attitude that, hey, we're not slaves in Egypt anymore, so, it could be worse. So anyway, I wrote this to make myself feel better about when things aren't going the way we want. So here we go. Find my own. Ooh, where did that go? I'm going to have to find this track because I've talked about this song so much. I know I have it on my computer, which is where I have all this stuff. So talk amongst yourselves. I'll have to talk while I'm engineering this for myself. Let's see if we can find this. Where's it? Could be worse TV. There we go. Okay, you guys ready? It's been a stressful time, exposing problems quite systemic. And wow, that fraud election on top of a dread pandemic. Feels like we can't take much more of this insanity. But you might find some peace of mind with this philosophy. It could be worse. You could send so many frustrated texts that you sprain both of your thumbs. It could be worse. You could have a migraine on the day your neighbors take up playing the drums. It could be worse. Even though our democracy might be reduced to a pile of crumbs, you won't need to call for a nurse. If you remember, it could always be worse. It could be worse. You could go for a hike to relax and get attacked by a rabid bear. It could be worse. You could be hit by a car on the day you forgot your mom's advice to wear clean underwear. You could be famous and get caught on a Zoom call, whacking off in your chair, sewing your junk to the universe. So remember, it could always be worse. When things don't work out as we planned and we all ask what happened, it's hard to cope and maintain hope. One day we'll make this crap end, but you might feel much better if you take a tip from me. Folks everywhere face way more despair throughout our history. Whee! It could be worse, at least it's not the bubonic plague before anesthesia or penicillin. And it's not the Spanish Inquisition where we Jews faced some nasty grilling. Not even the Depression, where apples were so scarce they had to use Ritz crackers to fill in to make a pie that wouldn't ruin your purse. So see, it could always be worse. I'm not in Salem trying to prove I'm not a witch by drowning instead of floating. And I don't have to get arrested to advocate for women voting. At least The Handmaid's Tale is still fiction, even as rights are eroding. Some progress will probably reverse, but at least it could always be worse. So at these times when we're immersed in news that makes you want to curse, those anxious feelings you can disperse if you remember. It could always be worse. 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 Ooh, I forgot how fast that one was and how hard it is to sing. All right, so before I wrap up here, let me just see if there's anything good in the comments. Oh, James, what a lovely comment. He says he wishes most politicians were as good at their jobs as I am at being amusing. I have to say, given that there's so much material in the news, it is a little easier to be amusing than to be a good, effective politician or a leader, which is why I do this instead of going into politics. But anyway, thank you. And I'm so glad this is a good end of the day to you, and I'm glad I'm giving you something. So Scott's a goy. I married a goy. He's a nice Catholic boy, actually, although we keep a Jewish home, such as it is, but he's a Catholic cantor, which my relatives found so confusing, especially my East Coast more observant ones. So like, wait, he's Catholic and he's a cantor. I don't quite understand. I love how all my relatives start to sound like Harvey Firestein. Anyway, I have had a blast spending this part of the day with all of y'all, because the wig makes me kind of want to do that accent. I'm going to do one more song. Go back to a little political stuff that I actually did put this wig on, I think, for that video. But before I finish up, just want to let y'all know it's been great having y'all here. Check out the description of the show if you want information about where to buy my albums or how you can support my music. But most importantly, I'm just, you're supporting me by being here because, yes, performers need to make a living, but we don't go into this for the money. For the most part, I guess some people do, but they were misinformed. Anyway, we do this because we love entertaining people and being stuck home and not being able to get to venues. The fact that you're all coming out here and watching me do this has been how I keep my sanity, because I'm still performing, even if it's in a new, slightly weird way. I'm getting really used to the little green camera light on my Macintosh computer. So, is there a Jewish version? Let me just read this. Yeah. Yes, there's a lot of bad news out there. Is there a Jewish version of Somewhere? Yeah, Scott he's just got such a beautiful voice. I have to admit, that's partly how I fell in love with him. Anyway, and of course he fell in love with me for my hair. So I'm going to finish up with this song, but y'all have a good rest of the day. I will be back here in 2 weeks. Generally, I'm doing a live stream every other Sunday. Because I work 6 days a week and I need an occasional Sunday off. But I'll be back in 2 weeks. And if you are followers of mine on Facebook and you have ideas for what the next show should be, please weigh in. I can cover just politics. I can cover just voting rights. I can do a smorgasbord. I don't know. Today I just floated the idea of doing the wig. And so I am working on a song about I did the Complicit Cha-Cha about sort of the Georgia companies and how they've reacted to it. But now other states are following suit. And so I've done this about some other crazy stuff in Texas, how they were reopening. They're also dismantling voting rights. So I'm going to end with my little tribute to Texas. So here we all go, and stay tuned. I will tell you all. I'm working on a song about Matt Gaetz, and I was like, I don't know what to do because the story is changing every 2 minutes. And a good friend of mine, Leslie, said, why don't you write a song about how hard it is to write a song about a scandal that changes every 2 minutes? So I'll probably do that, so stay tuned. It should be out early this week, like I said, since I'm going to be recovering Friday from my second vaccine. Thank you. I love that you were all here too. So, all right. So here's Texas Crazy, and then I'll say goodnight to y'all. So here we go. Oh, sorry. I got to get my volume up here. I turned it down. I love this. Now, if this track sounds a little familiar, I'll tell you a little dirty secret. So I use this recording software called Logic Pro, which has some royalty-free loops, which are like pre-recorded little instrumental snippets. You can cut and paste and change them. So this is very similar to I Didn't Come From Your Rib, because it's a good, really upbeat country two-step. So I'll show you. You get to see how the sausage is made. So here's the beginning of I Didn't Come From Your Rib. So you hear that. So now you can hear the beginning of this one, which is similar. It's the same patch, and then I cut it up differently. So anyway, now you know I am plagiarizing myself by using these loops. If you're a fan of musical theater, we also call this Andrew Lloyd Webbering ourselves, because he repeats his tunes a lot in his shows. Anyway, here we go. Nowadays, right-wingers are acting nutty everywhere, but there's one state which seems to have to weigh more than its share. Their cast of crazy characters is quite extraordinary, like both them Bushes, Ted Cruz, Louis Gohmert, and Rick Perry. Oh yeah, there's crazy, and then there's Texas crazy. Never underestimate the size of Louis from that state. Hold on a second, I need the right one here. I'm sorry, guys. I have two different Texas Crazy tracks, and I updated my lyrics, and I've got the old one on there. Let's see if I can get this correct. Here we go. This is the one I need. Put this over here. Sorry, folks. Sorry, y'all. Here we go. Nowadays, right-wingers are acting nutty everywhere, but there's one state which seems to have way more than its share. Their cast of crazy characters is quite extraordinary, like all them Bushes, Ted Cruz, Louis Gohmert, and Rick Perry. Oh yeah, there's crazy, and then there's Texas crazy. Never underestimate the size of loony from that state. Now, of course, I don't mean normal folks, but they're elected leaders. A bunch of smarmy, fact-denying hypocrites and cheaters, like lying, flying Ted Cruz, who threw his kids under the bus. But he's a unifier, 'cause hatred of him's unanimous. Oh yeah, there's crazy, and then there's Texas crazy. Never underestimate the size of loony from that state. Meanwhile, the virus is still raging there, but leaders say, dagnabbit, who needs any expertise or science, says Greg Abbott. He opens it all up and not just take out food or drive-ins. Wouldn't you love to hear about this mess from Molly Ivins? Oh yeah, there's crazy, and then there's Texas crazy. Being wacko there runs huge, entirely proven by Ted Nugent. So what if there's no power? Leaders flee when people need them. But Rick Perry says that Texans will be glad to freeze for freedom. Despite this crisis, they still think the free market's divine. But they'd regulate the grid to death if it were a vagina. Twice in one show. Crazy, and then there's Texas crazy. When there's a crisis, each millennial just blames it on the Green New Deal. Oh yeah, there's crazy, and then there's Texas crazy. Never underestimate the size of cuckoo from that state. But things are changing fast, it's true, and Texas might be turning blue. Y'all turn out and vote now, you hear? Good night, y'all. Thank you so much for being part of the show, for your lovely comments, for the tips and buying my stuff. You guys, oh, Greg, but that is perfect, Bridget. That is great. La-di-da, cha-cha-cha. Thank you. Yeah, the Texas twang and a California accent are so similar. Super easy. Joseph, thank you. Let's see, what did he say? Do I have karaoke? You know what? That's a great suggestion, Jacqueline. I'm going to put some karaoke lyrics up in the show notes for the next show I do in 2 weeks. So I'll come up with something that's easy to sing along with. Love the idea of all of you out in your living room singing, I didn't come from your rib, you came from my vagina. So we might do that. Anyway, y'all take care. Bye, y'all. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.